Hey everyone, John here from School of Trade. Today we're going to be taking a look at a short trade here with buyers completely falling apart on crude oil. We're starting off the month with a very nice bearish momentum. We've been falling pretty much ever since the overnight session, and with this big drop lower, we're essentially looking for buyers to fail. And that's one of the best ways to get into this kind of market is waiting for the buyers to fail and then jumping all over it. In this case, we have a pretty obvious buy failure. Let me get my orders in place. Looking for a 1-to-1 move down to 40.85 and a 2-to-1 move down to 40.68, and those are going to be the objectives. Now, the move down that we had was after we got really grindy through Sunday night into Monday morning, and when the Monday morning session hit, as soon as 2 o'clock happened, we'd just been tanking ever since. In that big drop lower, any move up was immediately sold. So likely what we're looking to find here is a big correction from the buyers, and that's more likely just going to be sellers taking profit, but there will be buyers that get sucked into the move, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the buyers get trapped, and then I want to sell into them, knowing that the probability really still lies with the bears, and it's more likely going to be a bull trap than anything else. So this big run higher that we had here, a lot of buyers are going to love to chase that, and they would have bought above that candle. Big caveat here, though, it never triggered, right? It never went a tick above it, so buyers were never triggered into the move before it fell lower. Now, there may have been some buyers down here, but I don't know about you. When we're that far underneath the moving average and everything is just trying basically to say, hey, you might want to be careful, I'm not going to be very happy about buying something like that. And if they did, they're immediately stopped out. That's not the kind of trap that I want. I want a trap that's going to be very obvious, that there isn't any situation that buyers would want to wait. I want them to pile into the move. In this gargantuan bull candle right at the open, one tick up, immediately turns down. Now I know that I have buyers trapped. We firmly closed above the moving average. We've got a big bull candle closing right at its highs. Everything that the buyers would love to see here if they're not paying attention to the overall trend. And, well, it didn't work out so well for them, and now we're back down near the lows. So I'm selling into it, assuming that their stops are going to be under here, maybe under here. If they're really stubborn, under here. Either way, though, I'm looking for their stops to fuel the move down into our objectives, with the first target being at 40.85. So we'll give the sellers a little bit of time here. Very likely that the buyers are going to give up if we get continued bearish pressure because, well, when you immediately get into a trade and you're immediately wrong, most of the time you're not going to hang on to it. So we'll wait to see what the sellers can get here, and looking for a drive down to 85 next. Sellers pushing aggressively down, big push down into our target, beautiful move lower. That's exactly what we were looking for. Stop is going to go to one contract, and now because of the situation, this big drop lower, I really don't want to see them break above that dropping point. So my stop's going to go to +1, and we're going to lock out all of the risk. Worst case, we make an extra tick on the final contract. Otherwise, though, looking for a continued move down to 40.68. The buyers obviously gave up, and it does look like they were the stubborn ones because it didn't really fire off until we hit that low. And once we hit that low, then we got that big pop down. But that goes to show you, sometimes when you're trying to go against the trend, it doesn't always pay to be stubborn. And so the ones that were got stopped out for a pretty big loss. In our case, though, we're using their stops to our advantage, and we got our first target filled. So the next objective is down at 40.68. We'll see if the sellers have more steam in the system here to drive that market further down. Seeing the sellers pushing back in once again near the bottom, it does look as though a lot of sellers maybe got whipped out of the move. If they were a little too aggressive on their stop, an example, they probably would have put their stop above that minor swing high instead of using the correct stop placement. They got whipped out, and now we're going right back down towards that objective. So now, because of that little whip out, I don't want to see the highs of that broken. Stop moves down a little bit further to 98, and we get to push through to get our targets filled. Beautiful move down. It's exactly what we were looking for. A little bit of manipulation in here, a little bit of back and forth, but once we got the weak stops out of the way, dropped right back down, got the target filled, and that's going to do it for me. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com, and as always, we'll catch you next time.